Hi guys, I hope you can hear me okay. I'm actually just running a bath for myself next door. I thought I'd do a very quick video and upload it directly from my iPad. I'm actually in Robin's nursery now, so I'll actually do a tour another time when it's actually clean, because right now it's like a war-torn country in this room. It's just dismay all over the place. So I've been getting on really well after the birth. The pregnancy went great. I had no problems. I think 2 weeks of morning sickness. I was on L-Troxin during the start of my pregnancy because I had an underactive thyroid, which I had suspected for years because I was finding it so hard to lose weight. But I finally got it diagnosed just as I got pregnant, so I was on L-Troxin, quite a high dose. Plus just the 2 weeks of morning sickness, I lost quite a lot of weight. When I was 6 months pregnant, I was taken off the L-Troxin, and I think it was like the day after I had this really bad attack at home. I felt like I was having a heart attack. I never had pain like it before in my life. I thought I was going into early labour. Even my husband, I was saying to Morgan, like, I'm dying, I'm telling you now, I'm dying. It was around like 11 o'clock at night. Morgan ended up phoning my mum, and he was saying, like, can you come down, because I've never seen her like this. At that stage, I had just like gotten into the bath. I was running, like, I was sweating. I was running the cold shower on myself, and Mum came down, and when Mum saw me, she had never seen me in that much pain before, so she ended up ringing an ambulance. I don't even remember getting into the ambulance. I don't remember the ambulance journey, nothing. Went into the hospital, went into the labour ward. Baby was completely fine. They didn't check me over. I wasn't in labour. They turned around and told me that I had gas. So I was absolutely mortified. And I was saying, I thought I was in labour. And they were kind of laughing at me. And they were like, no, it's a gastric attack. And went home the next day because they kept me in overnight. Absolutely ashamed of my life that I had caused, that much trouble. Then after that, I had a couple of attacks a week of this, what I was calling gastric attacks. And like, I would just be projectile vomiting, in agony. All I could take was paracetamol. The hospital told me to take paracetamol, milk and Rennies. So that's what I was taking. I'd just be like crying my eyes out every time I got this gastric attack. My whole face would break out in a rash. And like, I just thought, I'm never ever going to get through childbirth, because this gas attack felt like it was killing me. So that really had me terrified from 6 months on, because I thought, how am I going to get through the worst pain that a woman goes through, which is childbirth, if I can't even handle a bit of gas? So that kind of went on throughout the rest of the pregnancy. It came to giving birth. The birth, I went in a week before I was due. I'd had another one of these gas attacks. That's what I thought. When I got out of the bath, I thought I lost a bit of water, so I thought maybe my waters had broken. I was getting pains coming and going. So went into the hospital, was checked over, told, oh, you'll have this baby by this time tomorrow. You're 2 centimeters dilated. So we were absolutely delighted. We texted everybody. The next day we were told we're going down to the labour ward, and the pains had stopped, completely stopped. There was a lot of messing going on in the hospital, but I'm not going to get into that now, because any first time mums watching, I don't want to make anyone nervous. But there was a lot of kind of crap going on, and after a week, waters still had not broken. Contractions had been kind of coming and going, but had basically stopped. I wasn't in pain, and I was sent home. So a few days later, I was in at my antenatal check, where I insisted on speaking to the consultant, because throughout the whole 9 months of my pregnancy, I had not met my consultant once, which I think was an absolute sham. I didn't even know whether my consultant was a man or woman. I found out on my due date that my doctor was a woman. So I was insisting on speaking to her. She was on holidays, so I ended up speaking to the doctor who told a year before that had told my husband and I that we would never ever be parents. He had actually broken my heart, and everything that he had said with our second opinion turned out to be untrue, and we were blessed with a pregnancy. And he didn't recognize me, and I was just like biting my lip so much because I thought, I just want to kill you right now. And I was speaking to him about maybe getting induced because I was nervous with being, at that stage I think that I was told I was 3 centimeters dilated. So I was nervous with being dilated, being at home by myself because of course Morgan had to work, and at that late stage I was getting like sciatica pains. The baby was lying really funny on the nerve. So, and also having this gastric attack. So I was brought in a week later, so I went a week overdue, and my waters were broke. I was put on the drip, and all this time I was waiting for this pain to start, that, you know, to get as bad as this gas attack, and nothing was coming. I was uncomfortable, you know, with the contractions, but I can't say they were painful at all. I was kind of like, yeah, I'm uncomfy, and then I think at the last stage I was like, yeah, I'll take the gas now. And then at 7 centimeters dilated, I took the epidural. And the only reason I took it then is because they were saying to me, you know, oh, it's going to, this pain will get a lot worse. I wasn't in pain, and I'm kind of regretting that I ever took it now. But anyway, I took the epidural, and first push, Robin's head was out. Second, third push, she was out. That was it. It was the most easiest birth going. Went home the next morning. Had, you know, 2 weeks past, kind of, you know, in a bit of a daze. You got the 3-day blues, and I was trying to breastfeeding, and it was just going horribly wrong. She was 2 weeks old when I got another one of these gastric attacks, and I was so shocked because I was like, you know, she's, you know, we were putting it all down to being pregnant, and I was like, but she's here. How could I be getting this attack? And it was one of the worst attacks that I'd gotten. And thank God she was sleeping throughout the whole thing, so Morgan was looking after her while I was in the bathroom. I was vomiting. I was going in, like a hot bath was helping to relieve it, so I was like hopping in a hot bath. When the bath got cold, I'd come out, I'd be vomiting, getting back into the bath. In the end, I couldn't put it with it anymore, so I phoned what we have over in Galway, which is Weststock. And I phoned, and I was speaking to them, and they told me to come in at 6 o'clock in the morning. So this was at 4 in the morning that I phoned them. So those 2 hours felt like eternity. So I got into the taxi, got to Weststock. As soon as I walked into this doctor, she turned around and I said to her, you know, the pain's coming in my stomach, it's coming into my chest, into the back of my shoulder. This is exactly what I said to the team when I'd been brought in at 6 months pregnant. Straight away she said, you've got gallstones. So I was like, no, I said, you know, you don't, I was like, okay. And she asked me on the level, you know, on a level of 1 to 10, where, you know, where was the pain at? Now, when I was in the height of my contractions, when they asked me that, I was like, oh, 2. When she asked me, I was like, 9. I was like, I'm in agony. So I got like a shot, a pain relief shot. I got a stomach relaxant tablet, and I got sent home with the prescription. So went to the doctors, went for an ultrasound scan, and they said that there was on the scan it showed, like, you know, all the gallstones, and the doctor said to me there's a vast amount in there. He was like, you know, it's a lot. He goes, you must be in agony. So I was like, I am, you know, but still I was kind of like, gallstones, that's a bit wussy being, you know, saying that like I'm in such pain. But I've since heard that, you know, like a lot of people say it's the worst pain, you know, that you can have besides childbirth for a woman. So I was kind of like, it was the worst pain for me over childbirth, because in my head I was expecting childbirth to be so bad or just as bad, and it wasn't. So last month, for my birthday, my friends had organised like a bit of a surprise birthday night and food and everything, and went out. It's maybe like half an hour drive away from my house, my friend's house. So I went out there, and I was being really careful not to eat, you know, anything, and because so many things can just set it off. And in the car on the way home, an attack just came like that. So that was on the Friday at 12 midnight it started. It went right through until the next day, until 1 o'clock midday Saturday. to where I went to my emergency room. I had 2 shots of morphine. I was kept in, and when they checked, they were going to take the gallbladder out there and then, because they were like, they could see that there was a lot of pain. I was in agony, and I was heartbroken. I was in an absolute depressed, heartbreaking state because I was away from Robin, which was like really, really, really hard for me, because I'm here 24 hours a day with her, and Morgan works long hours during the day, so it's just me and Robin alone. So I was lost. So sent up to the ward, and because the gallbladder they found was very infected and inflamed, they couldn't do the operation. So I was kept for a week on IV antibiotics in the hospital. Now the consultant came up, the head doctor, Dr. Quill, and he was very nice to me. He knew I was a new mom and that I was missing my baby, and he put me into a private room even though I was a public patient, so that when she came to visit I would have just alone time with her, which was really, really nice, and I can't thank him enough. And after a week then I'm on the priority list for the operation, so it means that I should be being seen soon. Like, he told me it'd be within 6 weeks, and that's just about up now, and I've still not heard anything, but I've been told I'm on the priority list. I can't get any faster than that. I had been referred for this operation, and he had told me had I not come into A&E when I did, he might not have seen me for another year, so I have been rushed along quite quickly. But the gallstones are here, and they've told me that pregnancy could have brought them on, but also the fact that with the L-Troxin, I'd lost 3, with the L-Troxin before pregnancy and after I had Robin, I'd lost 3.5 to 4 stone altogether. I notice it in my face. I don't know if you notice it, like in my hands and my fingers have gone very slim. So that was when I went into the West Dock 2 weeks after she was born. So I'd lost 4 stone since before, just like a week before I'd fallen pregnant. So they said that the extreme and fast weight loss could have brought them on as well. So that's where I'm at. So I'm just kind of trying to watch what I eat, keeping off dairy as much as I can, and drinking loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of apple juice and some lemon juice, which is helping the gallbladder to contract, which is kind of helping with the attacks. And I've also got very strong pain relief for if it does happen again. I think I've had 2 attacks since then, but they've lasted maybe 30 minutes, and they've not been, they've been manageable, not pleasant, but it's been okay. I've not been like on the floor dying like how I used to be. So that's my gallstone birth story. So that's fine. I'm not nervous about having my gallbladder out, to be honest with you. I'd nearly take it out myself at this stage. So that's been my story. Bye bye.